If you are thinking about moving to the Fraser Valley and specifically Abbotsford, before doing anything, watch this video because this might change your mind. My name is Arjun Dhaliwal. I'm a realtor here in the Fraser Valley and I'm actually born and raised in Abbotsford BC. And these are the 5 biggest drawbacks you experience while living in Abbotsford. Now, if you find any value from this content, just hit the subscribe button down below. And if you're looking for any real estate services here in the Lower Mainland, you can reach my information down below. Now, the first issue is probably the biggest issue Abbotsford faces on a day-to-day basis for every single person that lives here. And that is traffic and transit. Now, traffic is terrible and it's only getting worse and worse as time goes by because more people are moving here. And if you don't have a form of transportation and you are relying on this Abbotsford bus service, you're in trouble because 84% of people that actually live in Abbotsford need a car. And only 2.4% of Abbotsford workers are actually using the public system to get to work. That shows what kind of flaws we have in our system. But at least the city's working toward fixing this because what they did is they launched a new bus exchange here in Abbotsford and that's in downtown called the Montrose Bus Exchange and it's actually federally funded. It's been less than a year since the Montrose Bus Exchange has been running, so hopefully in the next set of data, it is improving in terms of transit. There's no other way to put it, but if you are working westbound, you are f***ed. My brother, who also resides here in Abbotsford, actually went to school in BCIT, which is in Burnaby, and every single morning he left from Abbotsford, and in order to make it there in time for class, he had to leave at 5 a.m. That shows the flaws we have in our transit and traffic system. Number 2 is something that goes up and down as time goes by, and that's crime. When I was younger, when I was in high school, crime was getting pretty bad, and it was mostly gang violence. After I graduated, it kind of cooled down for a little bit, but now it's picked back up in a different lens. What we're seeing right now is a lot of extortion cases and a lot of shootings in areas that we didn't expect it to be. Like, everybody has their stereotypes and everybody thinks West Abbotsford is a place where all these shootings happen, but even Eagle Mountain is not safe anymore. I think in September alone there were 5 different shootings. Now, most recently, an Abbotsford businessman was shot in broad daylight right across the elementary school, which had to go into lockdown. These cases have picked up since July, in my opinion, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, and we're seeing the same thing in Surrey and other areas. So that is something that you need to be aware of if you are moving into a city like this. Yes, your neighborhood does matter, but like I said, not every single neighborhood is safe, and even the ones you do think are safe aren't as safe as you think. Number 3 is actually something you won't see much of online, but there's actually a lot of people that are advocating for this, and that is more rec centers. In fact, there's an actual petition right now to bring awareness to bringing more rec centers to Abbotsford. Currently, we have the MRC Matsqui Recreation Center here in Central/West Abbotsford, and we have one in East Abbotsford, the Abbotsford Recreational Center. Now, these are maxed out at their capacity or they're too old in general. But Abbotsford is trying to work toward this and trying to resolve it as soon as they can. And they actually have an aquatics plan that is dedicated to resolve this. This is a 10 to 12 year plan. And what it's doing is showing the shifts that they're going to make more rec centers and actually improve the aquatic system here in Abbotsford. One of the things that they're planning on doing is removing the MSA basketball courts. Now, those courts are actually pretty well known here in Abbotsford because a lot of people play basketball tournaments there, or they just play pickup basketball there in the summertime. And to replace those basketball courts, what they're planning on putting there is a 50-meter pool to support this new aquatics plan. Not only that, but in my last video, I mentioned what they're doing across UFV, and what they're planning is putting 5 soccer fields there, if not more things. So currently, this is a big issue in Abbotsford, but it seems like they're working toward it and fixing it. Number 4 is the honest, brutal truth. We do have a lot of homelessness here in Abbotsford. Homelessness in Abbotsford has been statistically increasing year by year, which shows the problem we do have on hand. Now, you know it's bad when they're actually striking in front of City Hall and they couldn't really do anything about it for a long time. They did get that resolved, but that shows the problem we do have on hand. What the stats show in Abbotsford is currently there's 654 homeless people compared to 464 in 2024. Now that's a big jump in just 1 year. And here's an example of homelessness and what it actually did to my family. So a family member of mine was coming back from work, and where they work is a homeless center encampment. There's a few shelter beds there, and there's a lot of homeless in that general area. One day when he was coming back from work, there's this homeless man walking on the side of the road. And randomly, that homeless member jumps in front of my family member's car. And now at that point, my family member had 2 options. Either he hits that vehicle or he swerves out to the side. None of them are good options, but he had to do one thing, and that was to swerve out to the side in order to save that man's life. The result of that, what happened was that he crashed into another vehicle and he totaled. Now he was left without a scratch, but he didn't know that before swerving onto the right hand side. That was something he did out of pure instinct. But imagine if he broke a bone or he tore something or things went left. So this is a big problem that we're facing here in Abbotsford, and I know it's not just me, it's a lot of people that see it on a day-to-day basis. 5th one is something that I don't want to really say because it hurts my heart because these people are very hardworking, but it is the hospital here in Abbotsford. It's run way over capacity, there's not enough doctors, there's not enough nurses. Currently, the Abbotsford hospital is running over capacity by almost 28%, and it's affecting the citizens here in Abbotsford. And that is something that nobody deserves. Anybody that lives on this earth deserves access to healthcare. We understand that it is free, but it's also something that every single person needs. Now, don't get me wrong, we have a lot of things going for this hospital. We have a cancer center, we have an ER, we have a lot of things that other people don't. But sometimes what we need is the basics, and that's what we don't have on hand here with the Abbotsford hospital. And it's not just the hospitals, we have a lack of family doctors here as well. And what they prefer usually is if you make a phone call appointment. And this is something that was picked up during COVID, but nobody wants to be seen by a doctor over the phone. And sometimes by the time you get the appointment, you're already feeling better, so there's actually no point of having an appointment. So if me or any of my family members need to go see a medical professional, this is what I do instead of going to the Abbotsford hospital. I first go to the urgent care. I see if there's anything that they can do about it because there's no appointment necessary, and you can see a nurse practitioner or a doctor. If they can't do anything about it, then I'm going to the Mission Hospital. The wait time compared to Mission and Abbotsford is like half and half. Mission's not the best either. They've been shut down for a couple days just because they don't have enough doctors, but it's better than waiting 15 hours here in Abbotsford. Now, these are 5 big reasons to why somebody would not want to move into Abbotsford, and I'm just being honest. I still love it here and I would never move out of this city, but these are 5 things somebody should know before moving here. If there's any value you found from this video, please hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for the next one.